A director's tough start, Hwang Dong-hyuk's early struggles. Hwang Dong-hyuk, the brilliant mind behind Squid Game, had a tough start. His journey to success was anything but easy. Growing up in South Korea, his family didn't have much money. They lived in a modest home and faced financial difficulties daily. Life was hard, and they always needed more money. His parents often worried about how to make ends meet. This experience would later shape his powerful stories. The struggles he witnessed and endured became a source of inspiration. After graduating from a top university, Hwang followed his dream of making movies. He was determined to tell stories that mattered. He directed his first movie, My Father, in 2007. It was a significant milestone in his career. Even though critics liked it, it didn't make much money. The financial success he hoped for was elusive. He struggled to pay his bills, even though he poured his heart into his art. The financial strain was a constant burden. It was a real struggle. Hwang's own money problems became a big part of his work. He saw how these problems affected regular people around him. The financial struggles of everyday life were all too familiar. This made him want to tell stories that showed these struggles. He wanted to give a voice to those who were often unheard. He wanted his movies to be more than just entertainment. He wanted them to show real life. His films aimed to reflect the harsh realities many people face. Real-life inspiration, the birth of Squid Game's idea. Hwang's idea for Squid Game came from a hard time in his own life. He was struggling financially and emotionally, feeling the weight of his debts and the pressure to succeed. He was deep in debt and spent hours in cafes reading comics to escape. These comics, known as manhwa, became his refuge, a place where he could momentarily forget his troubles. The stories of survival and competition in these comics grabbed his attention. They were filled with intense drama, high stakes, and characters fighting for their lives. They gave him an idea. What if these games had real consequences? What if the stakes were life and death, just like in the stories he was reading? He saw similarities between the desperation in these stories and the struggles of everyday Koreans. The hustle and bustle of daily life, the constant fight to make ends meet, mirrored the survival themes in the comics. The gap between the rich and poor in South Korea was huge. This economic disparity was a glaring issue, with the wealthy living in luxury while the poor struggled to get by. The pressure to do well, to move up in society, was intense. People were constantly pushing themselves to the limit, working long hours and sacrificing their personal lives for a chance at success. He wanted to explore this high-pressure world in a way that was both fun and made people think. He envisioned a game that would reflect the harsh realities of life, but also engage viewers with its thrilling and competitive nature. Hwang also got ideas from real-life survival game shows that were popular back then. These shows captivated audiences with their intense challenges and dramatic eliminations. Shows like Battle Royale and the Hunger Games showed brutal competitions where only one person could live. These narratives were gripping and thought-provoking, making viewers question what they would do in such situations. He wondered, what would make regular people join such dangerous games? What kind of desperation or motivation would drive someone to risk everything for a chance at a better life? From playgrounds to deadly arenas, childhood games with a twist. Hwang wanted to show the difference between innocent childhood games and the harsh reality of the Squid Game. He picked games that were popular in Korea when he was a kid. Red light, green light, tug of war, marbles. These simple games made people feel nostalgic. But in Squid Game, these childhood fun activities became life or death situations. The risks were huge and the consequences were terrible. This big difference created a feeling of unease and made the drama more intense. The games in Squid Game were more than just contests. They were symbols of how competitive society can be. Each game showed the players' weaknesses, their desperation, and how far they would go to betray each other to survive. A decade of no's, the long journey to Netflix. At first, Hwang had a hard time getting Squid Game started. He faced numerous obstacles and setbacks that would have discouraged many. He tried to sell the idea to many production companies for almost 10 years, but they all said no. Each rejection was a blow to his confidence. They thought the idea was too strange, too violent, too much of a gamble. The concept of a deadly game show was seen as too risky. Hwang was heartbroken, but he didn't give up on his dream. He continued to refine his script and vision. Then came Netflix. The streaming company was known for taking chances on unusual stories. They had a reputation for supporting unique and bold ideas. They saw something special in Hwang's dark and twisted story. They believed in his vision and were willing to take the risk. Netflix gave Hwang the freedom and the money to make his dream a reality. They provided the resources he needed to bring Squid Game to life. Netflix's global reach gave Squid Game a huge audience. People from all over the world could watch and appreciate the show. The show came out in 2021 and quickly became a worldwide hit. It resonated with audiences everywhere, becoming a cultural phenomenon. It showed how determined Hwang was and how powerful his storytelling could be. His perseverance paid off, and his unique vision captivated millions. The dark side of competition showing capitalism's problems. Squid Game wasn't just an exciting show, it was a statement about society. Hwang used the show to criticize the bad parts of capitalism. He explored ideas of unequal wealth, class differences, and the human cost of always having to compete. The players in Squid Game were pushed to their limits by desperation. They were weighed down by debt, societal pressure, and a lack of opportunity. The show highlighted how these big problems could trap people in a cycle of poverty and hopelessness. Hwang's message spoke to people all over the world. Squid Game started conversations about unfairness in society, economic inequality, and the dangers of greed. It reminded everyone that behind all the fancy things, there are real people struggling to survive. A global hit. Squid Game's huge success. Squid Game took the world by storm. It became Netflix's most watched show ever, breaking records and entertaining people from all different cultures and languages. The show's success was unlike anything seen before, making it a legend in television history. People connected with the show's themes that everyone could understand. No matter where they came from, viewers related to the characters' struggles with debt, social pressure, and wanting a better life. Squid Game started a worldwide conversation about economic inequality and the human cost of capitalism. It showed how powerful stories can be in crossing borders and starting important talks about social issues. From broke to famous, Hwang Dong-hyuk's big win. Hwang Dong-hyuk's journey showed the power of never giving up. From struggling with money problems to becoming a global star, he overcame many challenges to achieve his goals. His story inspired other artists and anyone facing tough times. It showed that with passion, hard work, and a refusal to quit, even the biggest dreams can come true. Hwang's success was a win, not just for him but for everyone who dares to dream big. He proved that even when people reject you and things are hard, you can still create something amazing and connect with people all over the world.